feel excited. I had just gotten to the point of celebrating this movie and like putting this movie out of the world, and then all of a sudden there's word that we're gonna get to come back and do it all over again, and I can't wait.
It's been 8 years since Star Trek Beyond hit theaters, and fans are still eagerly waiting for news about the next chapter of the Enterprise crew. Unfortunately, Star Trek IV remains in development limbo, but there's hope on the horizon. If the producers play their cards right, the film could see the addition of 2 major A-list Hollywood guest stars, injecting fresh energy into the long-delayed project. Therefore, Allow Us to Show You All We Know on Star Trek IV may have just confirmed 2 A-list actors.
Yes, Captain.
While the original cast members like Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldaña, and Simon Pegg have all expressed their willingness to return, the chances of reuniting the crew grow slimmer with each passing year. The solution? Bring in some of Hollywood's biggest names to reignite excitement around the franchise. Big-name guest stars could be the spark that finally gets Star Trek IV off the ground. Big names could be the key to Star Trek IV's revival. In a timeline as expansive as Star Trek's, there's no shortage of opportunities for new characters, especially high-profile guest stars. With 2 theatrical films in development, one of them an untitled origin film directed by Toby Haynes, there's a perfect chance for Star Trek IV to tap into the star power of A-listers. This move could boost fan interest, attract broader audiences, and accelerate production. Hollywood stars signing on for even a brief role in Star Trek IV could breathe new life into the project. Their involvement could be just the nudge needed to push the film from development limbo into reality. Given how long fans have been waiting, the excitement of seeing familiar faces in the Star Trek universe could reignite interest in the franchise on the big screen. Missed opportunities with major stars. Interestingly, 2 high-profile actors have already expressed a desire to join the Star Trek franchise in the past. Unfortunately, these opportunities were never fully explored, leaving fans wondering what could have been. Bringing these actors on board now could finally capitalize on their interest and give Star Trek IV the boost it needs to move forward. For a franchise that has always been about pushing boundaries and embracing the new, casting A-list stars for significant roles or memorable cameos would be a bold move in the right direction. By leveraging their star power, Star Trek IV could appeal not only to die-hard Trekkies, but also to a broader, more mainstream audience. Is Star Trek IV stuck in development? While Star Trek IV hasn't officially been canceled, the lack of concrete updates is troubling. Development has been dragging on, and without significant progress, there's a growing concern that this sequel might never make it to the big screen. However, casting well-known actors could break the stagnation and create the momentum needed to push the film into active production. The franchise has always had a knack for tapping into cultural moments, and featuring 2 high-profile stars could ensure that Star Trek IV doesn't just meet expectations, but exceeds them. Now, with interest in sci-fi at an all-time high, the timing couldn't be better to capitalize on the excitement. A chance to chart new territory. By welcoming new talent into the fold, Star Trek IV could chart new territory and breathe fresh air into a franchise that's often been caught between honoring its past and forging its future. With potential guest stars waiting in the wings, Star Trek IV has the chance to not only continue the stories of the original cast, but also introduce new characters that can carry the torch forward. This move could bridge the gap between old and new fans, securing the franchise's future for years to come. Nicolas Cage and James McAvoy could join Star Trek IV. Nicolas Cage, one of Hollywood's most iconic actors, has expressed his interest in the Star Trek universe. In a conversation with Screen Rant at the Saturn Awards, Cage revealed that he grew up watching Star Trek and is a fan of the franchise. He even shared that he's had talks with the creative team behind the rebooted Star Trek films, but hasn't yet been offered a role. Cage's unique screen presence would be perfect for a villain, or even as a crew member aboard the USS Enterprise, making him an exciting addition to the cast if Star Trek IV materializes. James McAvoy, known for his portrayal of Professor Charles Xavier in the X-Men series, is another big-name actor who has a history with Star Trek. McAvoy was originally considered for a role in J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek reboot, but ultimately turned it down. However, his admiration for the franchise has remained strong, and he's openly stated that he would love to work on a Star Trek film. With his versatile acting skills and passion for sci-fi, McAvoy could be a key player in Star Trek 4, potentially bringing in even more excitement and depth to the film. Star Trek could capitalize on past missed opportunities. Both Nicolas Cage and James McAvoy present incredible missed opportunities for the Star Trek franchise, but there's still hope for Star Trek 4. Bringing these two stars on board could significantly boost the project's momentum, helping it escape development limbo. Their star power and genuine love for Star Trek would undoubtedly draw in both longtime fans and casual viewers, making the next Star Trek film a potential blockbuster. If the filmmakers can capitalize on these opportunities, Star Trek 4 could boldly go where no sequel has gone before. What's still keeping Star Trek 4 from being made? The fourth installment of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot films has faced continuous setbacks since Star Trek Beyond in 2016. Despite Beyond setting up a promising new 5-year mission for Captain James T. Kirk and the USS Enterprise A crew, Paramount has struggled to greenlight a sequel. The studio has scrapped multiple attempts to develop Star Trek 4, including Quentin Tarantino's proposed Star Trek project. One of the key issues is that Star Trek Beyond underperformed at the box office, leading to hesitation about moving forward with a follow-up. Additionally, the original cast, including Chris Pine and Zoe Saldaña, have become more prominent and expensive, making negotiations more complex. The rise of Star Trek on streaming. Another factor in the delay of Star Trek 4 is the franchise's shift towards streaming. Paramount Plus has seen steady success with Star Trek series like Strange New Worlds and upcoming projects such as Michelle Yeoh's Section 31 movie. With Star Trek thriving on television, Paramount may be waiting to see how these projects perform before committing to a new theatrical release. There's also the matter of the prequel movie, expected to release in 2026, which could influence the direction of the next big Star Trek film. A-listers could save Star Trek 4. While there's no definitive timeline for Star Trek 4, one thing is clear. Bringing in big-name actors like Nicolas Cage and James McAvoy could generate the buzz needed to finally get the project moving. Both actors have expressed strong interest in joining the Star Trek universe, and their star power could help reinvigorate the film series. If Paramount capitalizes on these opportunities, Star Trek 4 might have the momentum to break through its development hurdles and become the next big entry in the franchise. Zachary Quinto still holds hope for Star Trek 4. Zachary Quinto's outlook on Star Trek 4 offers a glimmer of hope for fans eagerly awaiting the next installment. Despite the many delays and uncertainties surrounding the project, Quinto remains optimistic about the future of the Kelvin timeline. Known for portraying Spock in the rebooted Star Trek films, Quinto believes in the franchise's limitless universe and sees potential for another film, even though it has been 8 years since Star Trek Beyond. His enthusiasm, along with his castmates' interest, suggests that the crew is ready to return to the Enterprise if Paramount gives the green light. The cast is ready, but Paramount isn't there yet. While Quinto and other stars like Chris Pine and Zoe Saldaña have expressed a desire to return for Star Trek 4, Paramount has yet to push the project into active production. Since 2016, the studio has struggled with budgetary and scheduling conflicts, as well as hesitancy following Star Trek Beyond's underperformance. However, Quinto's comments remind us that the original Star Trek cast continued making films well into their later years, and the Kelvin timeline cast could do the same. The door isn't closed yet, and with renewed momentum, there's still time for Star Trek 4 to happen. The future of Star Trek 4 lies in Paramount's hands. Ultimately, the fate of Star Trek 4 rests with Paramount and whether the studio can overcome the logistical challenges standing in the way. Fans and the cast are eager to see another film, and the franchise's limitless potential offers countless story opportunities. Quinto's positive outlook, along with the continued success of Star Trek on streaming platforms, keeps the possibility of Star Trek 4 alive. With the right push, especially with A-list actors like Nicolas Cage and James McAvoy potentially joining the cast, Star Trek 4 could finally become a reality.